me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.
Welcome back to We Are Mighty. We're so happy that you decided to join us this week. How you doing? How's the family doing? How is this crazy roller coaster of a journey that we call grief treating you? It's been exactly that. All of the above. Crazy roller coaster, ups and downs, and just everything you could think of across the board where I'm concerned. But I'm still here. I'm still moving forward. And I hope you are too. Why are we called We Are Mighty? I dedicate this platform to my son Miles, aka Mighty, who was taken from me way too soon at the young age of 24. And I just use this as a way of sharing my journey to possibly help someone else who has to go through this same journey, because I've noticed that there's just not a lot out here for people who are dealing with this, at least not a lot that I've seen. And it definitely won't be on the same level. So we're here. We're here every other week just to give you words of encouragement, to let you know how it's going for me, and hopefully help you through however it's going for you. We are actually in the last month of 2024. I'm not going to say I can't believe it. It went by so fast, because I feel like it's been dragging, and it's probably because of, the mindset and dealing with the grief and everything, that you just don't feel like, or I should say, I just don't feel like everything's moving as quickly as it used to. I feel like I'm dragging sometimes. I feel like the days are just so long. I get home from work and I'm ready to go to bed, knowing that there's things that I need to do, and a lot of times I just don't want to. And I'm trying so hard to pull myself out of that, because I know part of that is depression. Part of it is I'm just getting used to leaving the house for work, because I worked from home for almost 4 years. And now I have a job where I do have to leave the house, and it's all new. It's only been a few months, so getting used to that. But I know the majority of it is the depression and not wanting to just deal with anything, especially when I get home and when you have the moment of calming down and possibly being alone with your thoughts. Those are the scariest moments, because you never know what thoughts are going to go through your head, what memories, how you're going to feel from one moment to the next. When I look back over 2024, I remember that it was said that this year would be the year of revelation. And I do believe that there have been some things revealed to me. I'm not going to say it's because a certain celebrity said it was going to be the year of revelation, but in the things that I've had to deal with losing my son and the killer, alleged killer, being arrested and having to go through the court system, I feel like a lot has been revealed to me that I don't think I really wanted to face, but I have no choice. One of the first things I found out, I'm not as strong as I think I am. I'm not as strong as I thought I was. I had to learn there's a reason that people have support systems. There's a reason that people reach out and say, I'm here if you need me. I know the hardest part is trying to articulate what it is that we need. But then there's some people who will just be there to just sit with you. To just be there for comfort if necessary. Because when you're trying to comfort yourself, it's not going to work. No matter how hard you try, no matter how you think, I don't need anybody else, 9 times out of 10, you do. Even if you are an introvert, as they call it, it's still not easy to deal with grief, at least, on your own, and to try to pull yourself out of the negative thoughts, out of the depression, out of the sorrow. That's something that you can only do for so long by yourself until it completely drains you, and you will need your support system to help you. So I'm trying to embrace that, the fact that I can't do it all by myself. I know there are some things that I go through that I feel that my husband doesn't even understand. And I have to be intentional with letting him know how things make me feel, or letting him know things that are popping in my head, things that are affecting me that he may not even know, are bothering me at that time. So I can't be upset if he doesn't realize that I'm having a moment if I'm not sharing that. And for whatever reason, I just figured he would know. No explanation, no discussion. He would just automatically know that I'm having a moment. And that was selfish of me. So I'm working on being intentional with a few things. That's a word that I've begun to use more lately, because I feel going into 2025 that that's something I'm going to have to do, is be more intentional. But still, looking back on 2024, another thing I had to realize was, as much as I try to be, and we've kind of talked about this before, but I'm not in control. I can't control this grief journey. I can't control how things will affect me. Things that a lot of times I think will affect me, they don't. And then other things that I would never expect may have me just completely in tears. That's how this journey works. It's unpredictable. It's unplanned, that's for sure. And we cannot control it. I literally still try to figure out, well, by this time, I should be feeling this way. 6 months after, I should be where this doesn't bother me anymore. We're now over a year after, and everything still bothers me the same. Or some things worse than others. Some things I don't expect to bother me. So I had to learn, you can't control it. You just have to roll with it. And I'm trying to allow the emotions to actually flow and not try to even control that, because I'm the one who, I may start crying and I want to quickly wipe my eyes and say, I'm fine, when I know I'm not. And a lot of times I'll say I'm fine, and maybe 5 seconds will go by and there's more tears, because I'm not allowing the emotions to flow. I guess if there's anything that I'm in control of, maybe it's controlling the fact that these emotions are going to be here and I have to embrace them. I really don't want to. I really don't like to. I'm not one who wants to deal with sadness. I've never wanted to be that. But when you're facing those dreaded words, the new normal, and that new normal involves a piece of you being gone, a huge piece of your family, a huge piece of your life. 24 years of my life went to raising this young man and being there, being his support system, his biggest cheerleader, whatever he needed. My son knew he could come to me for anything. And for that to vanish, that's a hard pill to swallow. It's hard to deal with. But I'm trying to, again, be intentional with accepting it, with moving forward, with understanding that it's okay to live my life. And that is probably one of the hardest things. Not feeling that it's okay to live my life for a couple of reasons. One, as a result of grief, I'm paranoid. I worry what's going to happen around this corner. What's going to be the next thing? Am I going to make it to see this? Am I going to make it to next year? Will I make it to 2025? Now, to put a positive spin on it, it makes me want to live life to the fullest a little bit more and create memories and enjoy things. But on the other hand, I'm literally constantly paranoid. I'm afraid of everything. And I freaking hate it. I just want to, I can't even say go back to normal, because there's no back to normal, because back to normal to me would be my son is here. I want this new normal to not be so taxing on me. I want this new normal to be a happier time, happier than it is right now. I can't be happier than I was, but I want to be happy in living my life. And so that's what I'm trying to embrace, and that's what I'm trying to remind myself. I literally have to take a step back sometimes to say, okay, we can't go about it this way. Let's do it on a more positive note. Be happy. Smile. I literally have to tell myself sometimes to smile. Just that little bit helps. It helps to deal with things a little bit easier. It helps to just start to be a little bit more pleasant. Your tone will change if you smile. But it's crazy to have to tell myself that, because that wasn't a problem I had before. I was always smiling. Miles had dimples, and some people, when he was younger, the joke was to call him Smiles because of how much he smiled and how much those huge dimples would show when he smiled. And that's something to smile about. How my son would bring a smile to other people. But unfortunately, in smiling about that, I also remember that there's no more memories that he can make. There's no more laughter that he can create moving forward because he's gone. And so that's that roller coaster. That's the thing that I just wish we could somehow level. But there's no way right now, especially dealing with court and having to go. And right now, it seems like I'm there every month. Actually, for this month, it's twice. And trying to stay strong and trying to muster through it, because I refuse to miss a court date. But it's hard. It's taxing. It's draining. It's upsetting. I've seen things on TV before, and it's like, how can that person allow themselves to get out of character like that? I now know. I now know how a person can be in a place where you should be professional and not be able to contain themselves. Because I'm very close every time I go, but that's one thing I have to control, is my emotions as we deal with this, because who knows how long this journey is going to be. As I look forward to 2025, I decided, since 2024 was a year of revelation, that 2025 will be my year of restoration. Now, I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know that from January 1st to December 31st, I will be restored every single day, every single moment. I'm pretty sure I won't. But I will at least be intentional about making sure it happens at some point. That's where the living life comes in. That's where being more positive will come in. That's where embracing this new normal. I really, really hate that. I really hate that, but I have to continually say it to get myself to accept it. New normal. As I'm restoring possibly my joy, my peace, I know it's going to be difficult because in the back of my mind, I know the things that brought me joy for the majority of my life was my 2 kids. But again, there's the memories. My oldest son, we laugh 90% of the time that we talk. And I know he does it on purpose because he wants to make sure I stay in a good mood. And I appreciate that. And so that's kind of how I want to approach everything. More laughter, more smiles, more jokes, because that's how we've always been. We're just characters like that. And I want to bring that character back. I want to bring smiles to my family's faces, as well as my own. This year for Thanksgiving, my family wasn't all together for the first time in as long as I can remember. And it was very awkward for us. Very awkward. We thought this might be the start of a new tradition. No, absolutely not. Our family group chat was blowing up all day. I hope y'all enjoying yourselves because this is the one and only, the first and the last. We are never doing this again. And we realized even though everybody may not be getting along as well as we'd like, we'd rather be together with that tension than be separated. And I was the one who had to send the text that said, okay, family, we survived our most awkward Thanksgiving ever. We can't do this anymore. What do we do to fix it? Now, Lord knows I'm already dealing with what I'm dealing with my issues and falling apart myself. But I felt like I had to. If I didn't do it, no one else would. And we couldn't blame it on the grief of losing Miles because this was the second Thanksgiving since Miles left us, and the first one we were all together. I know that we're all dealing with grief and everybody's dealing with it in a different way. And I had even said the traditional family Thanksgiving just makes me miss him even more. And maybe that wasn't the right thing to say, because I think that made it a little bit easier for everyone to separate and try to do something different. So I feel a little bit to blame for that. So of course I have to be the one to try to pull everyone back together. So next year, I don't even want to say next year, honestly, moving forward, because I'm not going to wait until January 1st to do things differently or to be more positive. I'm just saying as we go into this new year, which is only a few weeks away, I just want to make sure that that is my running theme, that is what is continually in the forefront. Restoration. I don't feel like I can deal with the pain the sorrow, the sadness day by day by day anymore. So I have to do something. I have to push forward. I have to choose joy and chase joy. Because otherwise, I really fear that I'm going to go crazy. And I'm not going to let grief do that to me. Because I know my son wouldn't want me to let grief do that to me. He was a cheerleader for me just like I was a cheerleader for him. And now I just have to remember those cheers and hear them. And there are days that I do when I am weak, when I feel like I don't want to move. I definitely hear him saying, "Come on, mama, we're not doing this. Let's go." And so I have to get up and I have to move on. And you have to do the same. Grief is tricky. Grief is sneaky. Grief is overwhelming. And it's okay to take those moments to allow it to do what it does in that moment. But we gotta snap out. And I know that I've said this before. And I may sound like a broken record with it, but it's the truth. We have to snap out. Don't let that depression pull you in to where you don't have your wits about you and you can't control yourself and your actions, because that's all you can control is yourself and your actions. You can't control anyone else. You can't control how it affects anyone else. And I think that's one of my biggest problems. I always wanted to control how it affected someone else by not allowing them to see how it was affecting me. And I don't think that was the best way to go about it. I now say to my mom, I miss him. And she'll say something, yeah, it's still hard for me to believe. And we comfort each other. So you have to figure out what works. Figure out how you're going to move forward. If you're trying to figure out what should be your next step, your next goal, I would suggest restoration. No matter how long ago the grief happened, if it's still consuming you, push towards restoration. It'll never go away. I was hoping it would, but of course I know it won't, because I will never let go of the memory of my son. I will never let go of the fact that my son was taken from me. But we can still restore to some sense of normalcy. You got this. I promise you, you do. I'm talking to myself too, because there's definitely days when I feel like I don't. But I'm being intentional. I am going for my restoration, even if it's just restoring my energy. I'm so drained day by day. I just want to restore my energy little by little. And if I do that little by little, it'll get better and better. And then maybe I'll have my full level of energy back. And then you'll see me on here dancing. No, you'll never see that. Just a joke. But whatever it takes, I'm going for my restoration. Take back what the devil stole from me, as they say. Take back what he stole from you as well. I hope that I was able to help you in some way. If you take away nothing else, I hope 2024 revealed some things to you that will help you to restore yourself in 2025. If not, it's okay. Figure out what it is that you need to shoot for next year. What you need to shoot for going into this next year. Don't wait till January 1st. New Year's resolutions never get accomplished. Please don't make a resolution. Just decide what you want to do differently. We are here every other Friday. Everywhere that you listen to podcasts, you can watch us on YouTube and Spotify. Please feel free to email me at wearemighty24@gmail.com. We also have a We Are Mighty podcast Facebook page. I'm working on the Instagram. I'm having some issues with linking the two, but we'll have it up and running soon. I hope you join us again in a couple of weeks. I hope you join us in the next year because I plan to continue. This journey is never ending. In everything that you do, remember, be true to yourself, be strong, and be mighty. We'll see you next time.
They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.